This piece is called The Ring in the Street. I've spent my whole life terrified of community and groups of people. I had learned that if you were visibly different, had different needs to others, and couldn't go along or get along, you would be ostracized, alienated, bullied, or exiled. As a woman kicked out of home for not complying with my mother's faith or religious community growing up, the literal fear of God was put in me early about learning how to assimilate and lose myself in groups of people. If I didn't make white people uncomfortable by mentioning racism, I wouldn't be cast out. If I didn't make middle-class people uncomfortable by mentioning poverty and gross inequality, I wouldn't be cast out. If I could suppress my fluid sexuality, I could seem non-threatening to the heteronormative family model and wouldn't be cast out. If I could pretend I wasn't divergent and didn't see the world differently, seeing patterns and calling attention to things that made no sense, I wouldn't be cast out. So for the best part of my youth, I contorted in so many directions to fit in. It's no wonder I ended up in the circus as a teenager. And most embarrassingly, was caught in the street in my early 20s, eating a chorizo ring from a bag by my vegetarian housemates after lying to obtain cheap rent in a house share in an area of London near where I worked. As I shamefully swallowed full cheeks of Spanish meat, standing in my NHS uniform on a street corner in Hackney, knowing I had just made myself homeless, I began to question if being inauthentic for acceptance was actually worth it. And if we'd all be better served by owning our uniqueness, our inadequacies, and our imperfections. Maybe the vegetarians wouldn't want me every time I went on a red meat rampage the week before my period, but surely I could find and deserve to find a home where I did not have to suppress who I was in order to be allowed to be there. I think as a species, human beings have a long way to go in accepting difference. I blame Darwin and many others who went in search of heavy categorization, as if they knew best what everything was, what it should be called, and where it belonged. I really don't care where you're from, what colour eyes you have, how old you are, what your bank balance is, or what fancy school you studied at to impress your parents. Instead of ideology or identity, I want to know what recipes made you. How do you say bon appetit, grubs up, bismillah, buen provecho, Islami idak, which translates as may your hands be blessed, beautiful. I want to know how you say that in your language before you eat a meal. How do you say cheers, salut, chin chin, kanpai when you chink glasses with a stranger for a toast? Tell me about a time you were in the shit and how you got out of it and what it taught you about life. Someone wise I met once told me, we all come from long lines of ancestors, and when we meet, they meet. My heart said yes. How did your grandmother make soup? What cake or baked goods do you bring to a gathering, and what does it mean to you? If you died tomorrow, what would you want people to say about you? And how does that make you act differently today? Tell me about a mistake you made. Tell me an embarrassing secret. Tell me about the version of you that stands, shaking, sweating, rustling a bag to eat from ferociously on street corners. Tell me who you are when you're caught red-handed and sticky and fucked up and human and holy and real. Let me see you.